Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So, in the previous lab, uh, we have started with the design of these bunkers using Excel spreadsheet. We have covered the preliminary dimensioning part and the design of side walls and some part of the design of bottom hopper. So, in the design of bottom hopper, we first assume the thickness of the slab, the thickness of the lining. So the total slab, total thickness of the sloping slab was 175 mm thickness. Then the weight of the coal was 205.01 kilonewton, which was calculated from our uh, earlier calculations here. And the weight of the sloping slab was calculated that 4 times the uh, upper diameter upper width and lower width means the average width. It is the average width 2.5 plus 0.45 by 2 means it is the average width at this at the mid height of the bottom hooper times the slant height. This land height was 1 square plus this distance. This distance will be half of this width minus half of this dimension, bottom hooper bottom dimension. So square root of that multiply by the total thickness of the sloping slab times the density of the concrete, that will give you the weight of the sloping slab. So the total load on the bottom hopper was 241.98 kilonewton. Now this is to be distributed among all the 4 sides of the pyramidal wall. So divide by 4. Okay. Now you have to formulate it such a way that the same sheet is applicable for conical dome as well. So when you choose the conical dome, then this formula gets changed for the this uh, for the conical part sloping self weight of the sloping slab of conical shape, and and this is also getting changed. So the total load on conical wall is this much, and the component of this wall resisting the load will be, in case of conical dome, it will be t into 2 pi r into sine theta. So from that you can obtain the tension in the sloping wall. T is equals to uh, 228 divided by 2 pi r into sine theta. So that will give you 41.718 kilonewton. So, and if it is conical dome, then it will be t sine theta. So divide by t sine theta, that will give you this. Then once you have the tension in the sloping wall, you can find the steel required to resist this tension. This is 1.5 to factor the tension force, multiply by this tension force, divide by 0.87 Fy. So AST required to resist this tension is 359.9 mm square. So let us provide 8 mm bar at 130 center. That will give you 387. So comparing these, so it is okay. It is 387 and required is 359.9. So it is okay. So now this was the tension in the sloping wall. Now the sloping slab should also be designed for the normal load, which will cause bending in the walls. So let us design the second looking bottom as a slab between corners. So here the hopper bottom would also be designed for following. The first would be the normal component Pn of the pressure due to the material stored second the normal component Wn of the sulfate of the slab, sulfate of the sloping slab. Okay. So the first part normal component. This normal component is given by is equal to gamma, that is the unit weight of the coal material, into H cos theta or cos square theta plus cos square phi into square theta. Can be found equal to gamma by into H Now here h has to be calculated. So that is equal to which is the average height, uh, half of this plus this height plus this height. Here we have to fix this because it will be in so many decimals, so you have to fix it in, let us say, 2 decimal. So that would be equal to so now you can find the normal component Pn. Component Pn will be equal to now gamma into this h, so again into if you don't fix it, then it will be so many decimal, that 8 9 precision, so the formula would be too long. See, if I enter this, it will go on so many decimals, so just fix this decimal. Now you can see it is 9 into 3.600. Then this part, cos square theta cos cos square into fixed bracket fixed the value of theta is this decimal and this plus again same cos square theta and it is cos square phi. So cos square phi is 130 phi is 30 degree this then again bracket close into sin square theta. So this value this is the formula. This is 9, that is gamma. H is 3.86 cos square 44.29 plus cos square 30 into sin square 44.29. So you can now find this value. Remove this part. While calculating the value, we will not fix it because it will change the answer precision. Cos square of this plus cos square of this term multiply by and square of this term. Finally, closing the bracket. This will give the normal component as 31.583. Let us just verify this value. 9 into 3.86 into cos. Okay, see here this is in degree. You have to convert this into radian r pi by 180 is to be multiplied either you multiply this or you can do one thing. You can do take the degree here. In that case, you don't have to multiply this pi. So this way also you can do. See, here we have done that degrees, so it will convert into degree. Okay, here we have to write it in radian. Instead of degree, we have to write it in radian. So this is the normal component in kilonewton per meter square. Similarly, let us find the second component. Normal component of the slab, and this is equal to the gamma C, that is the density of concrete times the thickness of the slab. So it is Ts to the density of concrete, that is 25. This is the Ws, or simply first we write Ws cos theta. Where Ws S is equal to S into density of concrete, that is 25, or simply we can write gamma C. Okay, so that will be equal to yes. Yes is this value divided by 1000 into gamma C, that is 25. So this will be equal to this into this 4.38. This is in kilonewton per square meter. So now you can find the normal component Wn of the self weight of the slab. That will be equal to this Ws into cos 44.29 cos theta is this value. Here if I don't fix it, then it will be, you can see so many decimal, so you have to fix this. Decimal. So it will be equal to this star cos this angle star pi by 180. It will be 3.1132 kilonewton per square meter. So the total normal pressure for the normal pressure will be equal to plus okay. So now you have the normal pressure. You can find the bending moment uh, due to this normal pressure. See, now you have this normal pressure. So you can consider this beam as supported between these two corners and subjected to this moment, subjected to this normal pressure. So you can find the moment due to this normal pressure. Now let us first find the effective span. This effective span. Let L be the effective span. So let us find the effective span. Effective span L equal to, this will be the average between the two, average width at the mid height of the bottom upper at this location, the average height, average width, so that will be 2.5 plus 0.45 by 2. Simply we can copy this from here, this part. Average height plus half the width of the column, half the width of the column, so it is 300 by 300. So let us say this by 2 and convert this into 1000, so divide by 2000. Oh, it is already there in mm. So if you did 2.5 plus 0.45 by 2 plus 0.15, okay, so that will give you this span. This plus this 2 1.63 is the effective span. Now let us find the bending moment. So at the maximum bending moment, bending moment in footing slab, let us call this as M. will be equal to W, that is this value. Let us fix this. Fix symbol W L square, so into L square, so this again we have to fix this. For square, square L square by 12. Okay, so now we can find moment. Or simply instead of concatenate, let us W into L square by 12. So simply now we can this into this raised to the power 2 divided by this. So 7.4 Newton meter per meter width is the bending moment. Per meter width. So now for this moment we can find the area of steel required. So same as this, we can find the steel required to resist the bending moment. So simply just copy this. Now here we have to find the factored moment as well. So the ultimate moment is as mu equals to 1.5 times moment will be this multiplier. So now you have the moment. You can now find the area of the steel required to resist the bending moment, AST. FCK is 20. FYK, that is the characteristic yield strength of steel, is 415. Width is 1000 because we are finding for 1 meter width, and the effective depth for this is equal to same as the earlier, 50 minus 150 is the thickness minus the effective cover. Here also we are assuming the cover as 30 mm only, so minus 30. So this much D. So 0.5 into FCK 415. Now this moment is equal to this 10 to the power 6. This everything is okay. So it comes out to be 268.94 mm square. Okay. So area of steel required will be equal to this much. Now let us provide 10 mm bar at 250 center to center. That will give you 314 mm square. So whatever the steel we have provided, it is okay. Now for the distribution bars, this will be equal to this. So again, it requires 180 mm square, and provided steel is 8 dia 200 center to center. That is okay. So this is how you can design the bottom hopper. So with this, your design is over. You can also now make a sketch in which the reinforcements are drawn, and you can tag them with these provided steel. Say for example, 8 dia 200 center to center, 10 dia 200 center to center. You can link here, and you can add an arrow to the sketch that you can add here. Like let me show you one example of this. This is the spreadsheet for design of pre-stress bridge girder. So you can here you can provide the cable profile. You can provide the section properties of the girder. Then the temperature, stresses, positive and reverse temperature differential shrinkage. These are all calculated. And the one I wanted to say this you can prepare a section like this, like section of the bunker or a silo. You can have these drawing these sketches, and you can tag them. Let us say these are linked. So whatever suppose you change, it is linked here. Let us say you change here as 8 dia, so that will be changed automatically here. So when you input here as 10 dia, so automatically here it will be changed. So likewise you can give your detailing also, like for distribution bars and for the main bars, like you can have a sketch like this in your spreadsheet. So if you print this, it will be in readable format and it is easy to understand. Even you can submit it to client also. So this is how you can prepare Excel spreadsheet. This spreadsheet is for the design of bunkers, but we can also extend this to the design of silos, uh, in which you can account for the friction. Here, when this condition is exceeded, means it is a silo, then what you can do, you can change the theory. This horizontal pressure will be calculated based on Airy's theory or Jensen's theory instead of Rankine's theory. Here we are using Rankine's theory to find the horizontal pressure. Okay, so that's it. If you have any doubt, we can discuss now. So I would suggest you to go through these again and prepare Excel spreadsheet at your end yourself, so that you would be able to understand the flow of the design, how you can incorporate any design in spreadsheet, or how can you program them. And this Excel spreadsheet can be helpful for number of designs. Suppose you want to design for other dimension of bunkers, it would give you result in quick seconds. So your efforts are minimized. Only you have to put effort one time, and then you can design n number of times using this spreadsheet. So any doubt in this? So in this lab, we have covered the design of bunker using Excel spreadsheet. Now in the next lab, we'll try to model this bunker in some professional softwares like STAAD or SAP, and see the difference in the results. Uh, okay, and compare the results obtained from both the manual calculation as well as the software results. Okay, so let's stop here.